this is the owner and CEO of the company Move Easy. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my design process, also known as the spice. So anyways, do you know what a spice is? Okay, spell it out for me.
S
That's for situation,
P
problem,
I
investigation,
C
the construction,
E.
and finally evaluate and talking about my next steps about how I can build off my final product. So basically, when I was a really little kid, my grandpa had a severe injury in his leg. The doctor told him to get crutches and wheelchairs. So since my grandpa was a really adventurous and curious person, and he wanted to explore, travel, and he didn't want the restrictions of wheelchair and then separately the crutches. So he got both of them. Now since I was a little kid and I was always free and I didn't really have much to do. So I was helping my grandpa switch from crutches to wheelchairs and vice versa, to go on different terrains, to go on elevated steps, hills, and other things, right? And it was a really long and tedious process, and I didn't like it at all, and it was really hard for him and me. Now moving on to my investigation, I was a really curious kid, and I made a bunch of sketches about different ways and different approaches I can take to making a wheelchair that turns to crutches. Now in my mind it sounds silly, yes, but when I actually think about it, here I am now with a multi-million-dollar business and a brilliant idea that a lot of people thank me for and are grateful for. Now, with my investigation, I had to think about materials, safety, the environment, and carbon emissions too. And next I'll be talking about my two prototypes and then my final product. So basically, this is my first prototype, and by the looks of it, yes, it is disastrous because for several reasons, such as materials, the looks, and the functionality. Because look, over here, the wheel doesn't spin, and it's really wobbly and it's really flimsy, and the choice of material isn't the best. The adhesive I used, which was a glue gun, I used a lot of it, and yes, I used a lot of it, but it didn't help because it still a lot of things still break off, as you can see. It's the ripping, and it's just not what I had in mind. And just to show you, the crutch would go up, and like as I talked about, it's again the uses of the hot glue. It's getting harder to move and use your product, and just don't start up with the wheelchair aspect of this because it doesn't work at all. I tried everything with the first prototype, with the Velcro, with hot glue, and that's basically the wheelchair. It doesn't spin, it doesn't do anything. It was a disaster. So this is my second prototype. I learned a lot of things from the first prototype and the second to make my final innovation over there. There's a lot of things I altered, kept, and there are a lot of ideas that I just ditched completely. So starting off, this is the wheelchair. I added the leg rests. The wheel still doesn't move, as I didn't have time to make it move because I had to get over axle and I just didn't know, so I just glued the wheels on, and again it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. The materials I used that were Velcro, they're standing out as it didn't blend in like they blend in with my final product. And also, if you look at the crutches, I used a triangle to make it more sturdier and have it more solid. And over here, it's flimsy and it's not as stable. And a couple problems I have with this is, one, it slants. So I had to put a rod on the back, and also the weight distribution is also a big problem since this is all wooden sticks, and that's one half. The other half, it's paper and a couple sticks of wood. So if I had to remove this, it would just go back like this, and to be honest, no wheelchair looks like that, and it's not realistic. So I had to put a stick, which isn't realistic either, but I had to do it just to show how it works. It slants for some reason, and the wheels don't spin either. With this, I had the idea, and I finally used my previous lessons, and now look, Velcro here, and it just attaches itself. So nothing comes in the way here, and you don't have any bruises on your ribs, on your legs, your thighs. Same deal over here. You have Velcro here and here, and simple. This is my final model, the Move Easy. There's a lot of things I learned from prototype 2 to the final product. There's a lot of thinking and inquiry. So basically, here I have the leg rests that actually move up and down depending on if the person wants to use them or not. They're also adjustable. The wheels move, and they also have rims on them to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. The whole thing is painted black, so it contrasts and it goes and blends in with the fabric I use over here, which is really soft, and it's a grayish fabric. And that's the wheelchair aspect of it. Now moving on to the crutches. The idea I kept is Velcro here and Velcro here, and you just put it back. But the problem with my second prototype was the Velcro was standing out. It was in the middle of everything. Everything was light, and you just had two black patches. Over here, I made sure I put the Velcro over here. I could have put it here, and then I could have put the Velcro here. But I made a smart and wise move to put it here, so it doesn't go, and it doesn't take anyone's attention. Right here, and again, close, and it doesn't move. It's the same deal with this, here and here. There we go, done. Now, one thing I had in mind is when you're using crutches, so let's say I pull this up and I'm using crutches, right? I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna walk. This and that, the back hand rest and the front leg rest, it's gonna hurt people, and it could possibly injure you too. And it's really dangerous to have two things sticking out, one really long, one shorter, but still, it's really dangerous to have two things sticking out as you maneuvering around with your crutches. So what I did is, with the leg rest, you can pull it up, and you can just attach it to the back of the seats, like so. And with this, you can just push it down, and it stays. So now you have your crutches. So let's say I want to use it at this level. You can just use crutches like this. Really quickly, the same thing here. You move it up, and you just attach it. It's really simple. And you can just use your crutches as long as you want. Now with the making of the crutches, it was really hard process, and I made sure I used the right adhesives such as Velcro, hot glue, quick glue, and I didn't use too much, and I made sure it worked and it was functional with the right amount of materials. So that gave it the nice look I wanted to give. Now going back to the crutches from the materials. Now you might be asking, how do you transfer it from crutch to wheelchair? Now I made an innovation from that too. Instead of having it just go on top like this and sit, I made it a sliding mechanism, if you can zoom in over here. So it basically, the bottom seat just slides in, and the backrest just goes into place over here, and that makes it sturdy and stable. And unlike the second prototype, this isn't slanting, and this isn't flimsy at all either. The small attention to details is basically what all the customers look for, and it makes it stand out. Such as the golden accents over here that complement the rims, and the stiff leg rests over here too. And again, to use the wheelchair, you can pull them up, or if you wish, you can just keep them down if you want. Again, the wheels move, as this is a properly functioning wheelchair.